Crystal, Jerry, y'all are the best. Your gift keeps on giving, too. There was a comment on the X the other day, and they said, she's like Sarah Connor with autism, but they weren't trying, this person, I knew he wasn't trying to be mean, but I'm like, oh no, not this again. And I've had a more active public motion on the X, so I took the time. I'm like, hey, and the person goes, I didn't mean it that way, but carry on. Sorry to that person. I knew that, but I wanted to push it down before it starts again. And then some other poor soul, well, those of us who have a lower IQ and you're yelling at us. And I was very clear. I'm like, no, you're the people that I'm reaching for. And when you hear me being sharp, it's because whoever that X commenter was that I listed, that's the person I'm directing the ire, the sharpness at. There is no reason, none, to keep telling people, oh, we're not there yet. It's harming people. Kind of like when you lie about our warfare doctrine repeatedly. When you're covering up for whatever you're doing, because everyone had believed that you were just too stupid, compartmentalized, whatever. And what we found after 3 years, you damn well know you cover up for them one way or another. You may not know the intricacies of every bit of the system, but you know we're using sensors, and you know we log into bodies, and you know that agentic AI is big money, etc., etc. Then we ask you to HOW and you throw fits. So I was pleased to see on the intra-body ban, or excuse me, intra-ban for the X, somebody with common sense replied back, why are we even arguing about this? This is all just basic paperwork direct from the government, companies, market share. It's right there. Thank you. Yeah, 3 years of that. So the comment this morning where the person said, Sabrina lifts somebody up and then bashes them. That's because, like Pavlova, who said that there was no Internet of Bodies, but on her resume she was working biomedical telemetry for the heart. She made money off of that. There she is telling you, oh, don't fall for the red herring. There's no nano. There's no Internet of Bodies. This is not the bank account you're looking for. Karen Kingston, all these other people, same thing. Same thing. So in the process of trying to respond to the good people in my community, I continue to be like, yeah, they're going to try to talk, they're not. What's going on? So Booma did a show with Juxt. He did a coffee this morning that explained more about counterintelligence. And I'm really grateful for that because I told Juxtaposition, that guy is the real deal. He is all heart. And that is a huge, because now we have more than just non-vaxxer out there with his team of men and women who care. Then I hear the Clone Jones over there. He's all puffed up, and he said some real interesting things yesterday. And he says a couple times now, the greatest thing that evil wanted you to believe wasn't that it didn't exist, but that there is no good in the world. So, for the gentleman on the X that was irritated with me, he accused me of being paid by the government. That pisses me right off. And it's because when a targeted individual or someone from satanic ritual abuse or those poor people out of the 60s who had literal RFID chips in them, they were all told, shut up, you're nuts. Their lives and their health they were severely damaged so that you could go tell your stories about, I'm a remote viewer. Pure fraud. Now that doesn't mean that some people out there like that Max guy on YouTube in my opinion, he's not one of those people. He's using his natural bioelectromagnetics, his biofield, and it's a process called quantum tunneling to stay away from all their sensors, stay away from all their networks, and he's not using a digitwin. He's using his biofield natural concurrence, because this right here is a natural quantum computer. Different, okay? I can't remember his whole name. It's Max something on the YouTube. He does a really good job. He talks to people, answers questions, walks them through things. So the Montauk boys and all these myths about looking glass and data cubes. It's bioinformatics, and you're augmented. Those of you doing this, there's a bunch of them at different levels. And they just log into the system with their own brain chemistry. And the reason I got upset with that guy who said, oh, you're working for the government. I'm like, dude, you should see the records posts I put up, and I hope that you don't do this to other people. But his big thing was more projection. You're such a, not belligerent, but condescending or something. That's been the complaint by these people the whole time. And I said, I don't know who you are. Why do you think I'm talking to you? Do you have a job you're hiding? Okay, what? And given that I've shown up here almost every day for so long, and I'm still sitting here going, Dissa, come on, help me, help our community. It's so easy. People have common sense, they can see it. Body Area Network, 1995. I didn't ask you to out anything that isn't full-blown known in commercial, by the way. Because this guy, he said, fear-mongering. Oh, so sensors don't exist, AI is not real, machine learning, they're doing it wherever they can try to do it. And so, all the way back to the Intraband X video, here's this Vivian or Vifox, I don't know, whoever it was, don't be a fool. And I said, what are you talking about? And this is why it's so important for me now to keep putting down very firm boundaries, which people are not used to. That's why I responded to that other poor person who's like, it was sorry about that. And they didn't even need to apologize in a way, because they weren't being derogatory per se. But as I said, if I had a lawyer on attorney, or a lawyer or attorney on retainer, I would have already had cease and desist going to multiple of your talking heads that were cyberbullying me. We don't allow it with teenagers. What the hell are you doing? You're grown-ass adults. So the boundaries that I'm working hard to make sure they're in place are because these people are augmented after birth, a bunch of them, so their body works a little different than mine does. And I've been working on that and trying to figure out, oh, okay, how do I explain this? And my augmentation is the main reason I got so pissed off with this dude. He's like, you're working for them. I can barely walk. Survived strokes, a big one, where they had, I was nearly dead within 24 hours with the CDC involved. Just really, really nasty stuff that I literally never needed to go through. So I went back and I'm like, what the hell were you doing? I'm a breeder class test subject. I have no value. None. Other than if they can do something and monitor how I handle it, then maybe destructive testing, they can improve it for other warfighters that are augmented differently. That's really nasty. Well, your parents sold you. It's still really nasty. I'm an adult. Like, why is the Air Force still harassing my 16-year-old? Okay. People are not able to handle that because they're too busy watching the bread and circus. Well, that bread and circus includes watching endless podcasts about looking glass, data cubes. And I'm like, why are you doing that? If you want us to go forward as a species, team humanity, why are you lying to people? And then Ian Carroll, we're gonna reduce pill the masses about the Agenda 2030 that's already finished. Same fucking frauds with counterintelligence, but they're not frauds because they're doing their job. As long as you're watching podcasts about little green men from Mars, MH370s, and nobody knows, they go to work uninterrupted. And for me, it's really difficult to get up every day with, like, Amy, myself, multiple people that are being harmed right now still. No relief. Then there's tater tot. No relief, no fucks given. We're going to work. Yet when we come out there and show these are jobs, here comes your little weirdos. It's not possible, it's not there. And then Pavlova, Pova, and all the talking heads. It's evil fog. And I'm like, oh my God, okay. So, and that's what they do because fear works for them. And then they drop into, oh, I'm a Christian. Just Book of Revelation, pole shifts, and all this. I don't think so. Think it through. They're the ones that are running these big systems. The Golden Dome, yeah. And they're going to wreck all that because of a pole shift. And then the other crazies that have come and gone. Sabrina, it's a reset. There's all these time periods, our planet. Yeah, I know. That's because you have been drowning in your astronomy and astrology, which are mathematical systems handed out to lesser people to keep them busy, just like the Mason hand signs. Astronomy, oh, I'm watching this satellite. Well, are you? You're watching a computer data feed. But it's coming from, you can't prove that. But you just showed us all these satellites. Well, that's a little bit different because of GPS. Little bit. But when you tell me you're watching satellites that are taking pictures of Saturn and all that, I ain't buying. Why? Why would you need to be working so hard with Epstein, making all these extra genetics for your billionaire selves to augment yourselves and rule right here? Mental commands to the drones years ago. And all of the money and all of the energy, all of the effort, the jobs is all about merging man with machine. Now, why would you be doing that if you're so eager to go to Mars? So for me, I've had a bit of a change of heart after the lady put that video in our chat, caregiver chat, because I thought, well, not only can they not feel their own skin, are you going to put us in a zoo? Those of us that don't want this? And a bunch of us over a certain age range, they want us dead, death panel databases. And if I die right now, or, Lord forbid anybody else, well, you ate too much butter. I've been saying this for 3 years. And I thought by now people would stop running back to these Santa Claus and the Stork fairy tales about how the internet actually works. No, they're looking for little wings on their text messages on their phone. And the young people, mega conflict avoidance, they don't even want to try in a lot of cases. And before you blame them, look at that experience of feeling that electricity do things to you that you can't control. So I have done everything that I know how, but people truly, when they tell you, I don't want to know, blah, 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 well, now they're all excited. As you can see, we have a golden dome. This is great. HOW, all that doesn't matter. I'm busy. AI is running your government right now. And I said, these people augmented their tissue for life extension and the ability to use the internet with only their brain in the 90s. And so far, I haven't been off just about anywhere. And if I was, I will self-correct and tell you why. But when I think it through, okay, so everyone believes the world's going to end. They're already stressed to fuck. That's social engineering to get you to take yourself out, to give in to despair. So that guy that attacked me about, you're working for the government, I'm like, they wish I was dead for many years. They won't even let me go see a doctor for 8 years now. National security, no health care for you. Okay? So if something happens to me, I'm done. Destructive testing. And no, they do not pay me. Nobody does. That's why I was so offended. But I told this guy at the end, I'm like, hey, don't give up on you. He's like, and I said, if I piss you off, go to non-vaxxer 420 on the Rumble. There are people there that probably won't piss you off, you know? Because his thing was, well, you're always yelling at us in this. No, I believe every human can understand this if they were treated with decency by our intelligence community or other agency people or DISA or whatever, but they're not. And Ian Carroll's response, we're going to reduce pill the masses. Here, we're under your skin. Deal with it. Yeah, we heard that already. AI's here. Deal with it. And that's why I'm so under the surface really pissed off, because there was no reason, as I've pointed out multiple times, to do this to everyone if there was some sort of interoperability plan, alternative continuity of government plan. And I said, you guys are either not aware or you're lying for counterintelligence, because tactical satellite. This is the same plan I saw when I was young. That's logistics, hasn't changed. And then the Flynn Network stuff. Well, they're all still in charge. They're being elevated and everybody just doesn't care. And I said, the reason they don't care is because they are the new gods among men. So that's why this morning I decided I'm going to come to my community with some heart fire. Like normal, this is my video blog. I come here for joy, like seeing the cats attending class. I come here to hear from Serge, Polish Dude Squared. I'm not here for your entertainment. Not a podcaster. I want to teach people how to use their biofield, but I'm very leery because the inability to deal with just straight up human anatomy tethered to an algorithm in 2025, that bothers me here. Okay? So I've been thinking about it. And my husband is being laid off. So financially, a lot is changing for us. Still don't have the truck fixed. Snowing out, so can't go get proper groceries of any kind because the car will slide down the mountain. It's a good car, but you need 4-wheel drive. So these are things I don't really share or talk about much because I know, y'all know it, no. But my point is that there's hardness out there, struggle for real with a ton of people. And so for me, I'm always trying to figure out how can I make it easier, plus the coloring book. And but we need to know what you know, you do. Except for one thing. You've been lied to about celestials, nature spirits, elementals. Oh, it's living plasma. I would be careful trying to hug a plasma ball. And then the dark journalist, which again, those of you, well, he's a plant and this, that, or COINTEL as well. I'm halfway in agreement with you. Like I told you, I don't know, but I know that he knows he's playing with the bros. So probably, like the others, they have to be quiet in certain areas because they play ball with these people to a degree to be able to talk at all. I'm not in that position. I've made a huge target of myself. I'm well aware of that. But because I refuse to bend with their makeup and their, Walter Cronkite style, they seem pretty relaxed. They're like, it's Sabrina, whatever. And I'm fine with that. But in teaching people how to do what I believe the Max Remote Viewer Guide does, and I wouldn't call it remote viewing, but that's okay. It's just a terminology thing, okay? because distance healing, biofield concurrence, it's about the depth of the muscle strata. Remote viewing would be barely getting there, as in synthetic aperture radar style, just watching things passively. When you're using your own biofield, you're not being passive, you're full duplex. And so, with natural telepathy and such too, that's how I fought lifelong to keep things away from me. That's how I can hear the wireless sensor networks and, the planes before they show up. I'm like, oh, I know what that is. It's an electrical signal. It's a vibration. Your ears can't hear it, but my brain tissue can just fine. And so I have thousands of pages of writing, and it's accurate. And that's what I also have been trying to reformulate in a class structure, or whatever I can do, because I wish that I had a better answer for all the targeted individual and all these people that have been medically maimed and tortured. And they were waiting on you and our intelligence community to do something different. And instead, they all got pardoned for the shot, and you're all very happy with yourselves. That's why I don't understand why you won't just tell people, yes, in smart cities and the mega regions, we're good. Because they are. And I told you all, when I was little, my grandpa, my dad, my uncles, not one of them was afraid of the world ending. And your Adam and Eve book from the CIA, McDonnell Douglas electrical engineer, great uncle Rex Clayton, said, I'm sorry, he was there during that time period and he never had any fear of the world ending. Well, do they release propaganda to make you believe bullshit? Yeah. Okay. So then we end up back in the religious realms, and I still got to fix the videos that I've already loaded, because I believe in God, but not in the way of the 501c3, not at all. And well, aside from like the book of Ephesians and a couple of the books in the Bible that I just appreciate, feeling the love and reading God's word, and I use my little parentheses because of all the changes and this, that, but that's why I'll just open the book and read from where I feel it. But that attacking me incessantly over that too, it never slowed down, it gets worse all the time. And whether AI, disembodied spirit, Nephilim, whatever, they hate humans, they hate women more than men. And anal rape is there to break the spinal connectivity and pressure so they can access your brain stem more easily, since the days of Egypt. So that's why I've went the dark journalist route, to try to help other people stuck in Casey and mystery school work. But then Ben, he said, these people are so smug when they talk and they're taught by somebody with all the secret formulae. And I'm like, that's the real math. That's why I don't do astronomy and astrology, because you're not getting real math. You're getting go keep yourself busy over there somewhere. Because if we're busy with companies, allegedly 3 or 4 of them, that just showed us the sunrise on the moon, why didn't you get our astronauts off the ISS? So, I'm not sure which way to go right now, because part of me is having such a difficult time with the amount of human violence, human to human, going on. And part of me is still looking around for the very few people that I heard that fought against this. A lot of them were murdered. And then when they came with the honeypot from Mason, those are all operations to make sure that I'm wrecked. They haven't stopped. So to deploy all that with so much effort, and then to slander me online and all the rest, and you think they want to help you? Keep in mind, all I did was talk about open source data that's from the 90s with computer networking updated terms. I wouldn't play their games with them, running narratives. Looking glass. So what? So, people say, well, they need us for something. They only need you for your cell state, if at all. And the kind lady who sent the video said, I think the elites are going to abandon everybody to be eaten and destroyed by the AI. That is what I saw when I was younger. I've been over this already. I just really wanted to be wrong. So just like with everybody else that came and went, I elevated Tori and other of her community, hopeful that, you know, they would be able to push on something. And she, again, we're waiting till May or something, allegedly. But when trying to think through, what are you going to do? Well, we're going to give everybody free energy, and we're going to have this incredible, you know, amazing environment where we use the W band for good, and we're going to turn off all the free space optical. No. That's okay. The military and the academics who've also been full of shit, they're the other ones. And I like Dr. David Hughes, but, well, it's theoretical and we're not sure how far along they are because you can't read the telecommunications documentation direct from our president or with a docket number in Congress. But those are your academics and military who are going to keep your neurons because they love you. So it's not good, no matter what way I look at it. It's just, I don't know what else to tell people other than biofield practice, prayer, and labor. And this is why, lifelong, when it came to these people and their systems, my parents never protected me. Neither did any other adult or child. They wanted that demon. They wanted that energy. They wanted that power. And I even tried to save them sometimes when they were busy. The original Dizdar dolls. Those were the little girls that got to have lunch instead of have their stomachs stepped on to force them to vomit. Then they would get augmented surgically. Then they could break arms and such like you saw in Stranger Things. And they would practice that for metrics. Dizdar dolls were very good at doing what they were told. But as you can imagine, while testing, some of them would burn out. And I could hear it and feel it before it happened, which was really painful for me because their biofield was literally starting to oscillate, twist, and fire, as in like sparks of plasmonic energy. Amplitude, really. It's the phase and the phase state of their cells just going like this. And then it was like sparks coming up as their bones, because of the tissue engineering, their cartilage, because it's an easier tissue to mess with, would start to degrade into that gray goo. And then they would blow apart. Their chest would start to blow open. They don't have bone structure there. It's like disintegrating. One of the first times that I really, really got punished because I tried to save her. And this is what our tax dollars have paid for. Here it all is. And the one question I asked all of you as adults, why didn't you ever ask them, where did the R&D come from? Show your work. If you're going to heal everybody, well, where have you done that? Oh, we're going to turn it around. You haven't done that yet. You've been lying to everybody with computer networking terms like Fritz Springmeier and the Prophecy Club. People just can't help themselves. They can't stop screaming at me. We need solutions. I said the solution would have been humanity. I've never seen it lifelong. And I thought by now we'd see something. Well, we are. We're seeing very few people. But why should that matter? Well, we need numbers. Do we? I don't think historically that's how it goes. I think there's a remnant of actual humans, and they're librarians. Et exaltavit humile. And we're the ones that our Creator makes sure we survive all of their abject stupidity. And I'm not even referring to the Bible or the Book of Enoch. There's all sorts of texts worldwide tell you the same thing. But Jesus is coming. Like I told you, I don't believe it's the Book of Revelation. I think this is the 200 fallen on Mount Hermon that we're actually dealing with. Because Lucifer is like nowhere to be found. The Satans, etc. Nothing. All the chompy teeth transmissions that I've heard coming and going since we moved here are all Samian boys. Oh, they took wives. Yeah, they raped women. That was step one. Don't you want that to be your husband? Look at how the Bible is written regarding women, allegedly. Should say how they talk about it, well, and how they rewrote chunks of it. You little birthing pod, until we put you on an island at Lesbos so we don't have to ever hear from you again. Because we love you. We're going to keep the whole world to ourselves. We get to travel. But you get to sit in a bathtub with a headset on to hug your loved ones locked up in a 15-minute city. And you don't get access to your own neurons, but we do. It's happening right now. And everybody's going, it's the most wonderful thing we've ever seen. I don't have a proper way to deal with that intellectually or emotionally that is beneficial anywhere. So I go, no thank you. I'm going to protect my peace. Heart fire up, yeah. And continue to heal my body and focus on the good people. Elle wrote me a letter. There's some folks that are kind of missing from the channel because they're staying away from the internet. I'm glad. I've always enjoyed writing letters. So I thought about that. But the reason I show up here on the daily for coffee is because of how many people out there. My coffee is the one time with our community that we come together as the real team humanity. So, I love you all very much through the living waters of Christ, your Creator. And for the atheists, I love you very much without tunneling through their quantum networks. And I hope that we can find more people out there like that common sense person from the X who was like, what is going on? Yeah, good question. And I don't want to fight anymore with the nerds, but got underground submarines to come with next. And then, as I showed you with that PDF from the Doden, and your cloud of a cloud, your affiliate links, your free space optical, your feeder grids, routing maps, routing protocols with SAIC like Gabriel Cruz already talked about, with your Paragon, Pegasus software, connectivity, for your Q apps, or leave you messages. Your script kiddie bullshit I'm not really worried about, although I'm probably going to have to tear it apart at a lesser degree, just because I'm so tired of your lying mouths, grifting people out of their money. You're fucking with their lives, and you don't care. That's what just... The white hats are coming. Yeah, right under our skin. One cell at a time. And since nobody else in the intelligence community apparently gives two shits and want everybody to believe in the aliens, let me show you what's really coming. The reason I've been here every day and done what I've done is because nothing can stop what's coming, because you lied to them. There is no internet of bodies. It's a magical data cube. Looking glass with aliens, engineered biological entities, and humans that have been augmented since the 1700s, and they're kind of pissed off. The world's going to end, there'll be a pole shift. Oh, good. Then if you believe that, you'll take yourself out when you realize what's really going on here. You're going to be put in a FEMA camp called a smart city. They're going to play with you and your cell structure. And your bio-tokenized economy is step one. If you're not thinking the right thoughts, you have a seizure. If you die, they take your organs. They don't care. It's a tokenized economy. That's why I'm so pissed off at the blockchain people. Even the paper that I show you, it's for your health care. what do we do? You could start by helping other people understand your body's electrical, and if you're like me, and you're going to fight back, if you're like Amy, 60 years old, still kicking ass, you're going to do everything you can to be around people that you love, to protect them. Tuning forks, singing, grace, doing dishes, making dinner. What kind of solution is that? It's called human life. Love for your fellow man, woman, child, four-legged, plants. Ever heard of that before? I hope so. And like I told that angry guy, well, not angry, but that dude that was upset, do not give up on you. You are smart enough to figure this out for yourself. You can do it. And if you feel confused or you feel upset, there are plenty of people in our community who are there to help. Because they're not going to be turning it off. How many times did you hear me tell you, you are messing with missile defense? Now I've showed it to you. With the same free space optical that they're using for their agentic AI, your precious little blockchain smart contract stuff, you're not turning any of that off. You've augmented biology in a biosphere. If you still don't understand what that means, maybe go watch some movies, look up some terms. It means that the only thing they could do with those of us who are free range and uppity is put us in a zoo. I don't like being in a zoo, but as long as I get to bring my books with me and I can sing somewhere, whatever, maybe then I'll get to hang out with all of you. We can share the same zoo. That's how little they think of humans. Who's they? Humans doing jobs to control the mobs with remote neural overlay, like that Monarch Grey guy tried to tell you. The satanic ritual abuse community, in case you missed it, they're from the 80s. Nobody ever admitted to what was done to them. Oh, weird thing today, as I'm finally finished up here, on Puma's chat, I saw an image of J.D. Vance from before he was the vice president, and I took a double take and shook my head. He looks like Aquino. Here. That was weird. Like, just weird. But with everybody talking about how they jump in and out of bodies and all this stuff, I'm like, why does he wear eyeliner? Somebody said he doesn't. It's just, what he looks like. I'm going, it was intense. Instant. I'm like, Michael Aquino? Vice President Michael Aquino? No, J.D. Vance. I think the AI was playing tricks on me. See you when I see you. Mark 5 or Mark 5:36. Amen.